I was checking our boarding time on my phone when Griffin's voice sliced through the crowd at San Francisco International. "Amelia, you are unbelievable," he snapped. "I told you I needed that upgrade. You can cover it. Just do it." I kept my tone steady. "Griffin, I already paid for everything. I'm not paying another $1,400 for an upgrade you decided you wanted 5 minutes ago." His eyes went sharp, the way they always did before he made a scene. "You're doing this on purpose," he hissed. "You love ruining things." "I'm not arguing with you in the middle of the terminal," I said quietly. He stepped closer. Too close. "Then pay for the upgrade." "No." The slap hit before I even registered his hand lifting. A hot flash cracked across my cheek, loud enough that conversations around us broke apart. For a moment, the entire terminal froze. Phones lifted. Heads turned. A few people whispered. My mother rushed over first. "Griffin, sweetheart, are you all right?" She pulled him toward her like he was the one hurt. My father arrived right behind her. "What did you do to upset your brother this time?" "Amelia," I pressed a palm to my burning cheek. "I didn't do anything." Griffin pointed at me as if presenting evidence. She grabbed me. She freaked out. I barely touched her. A man in a business suit nearby frowned. A woman lifted her phone a little higher. 2 airport security officers started walking toward us. Griffin raised both hands casually. "We're fine," he called out. "Just a sibling misunderstanding. All good." The officers hesitated, then slowly backed off. Griffin knew exactly how to perform innocence. My father turned to me. "Amelia, apologize. Properly." I swallowed the sting in my chest. "For what?" "For upsetting your brother." His voice dropped to that familiar tone, the one that always meant I needed to fall in line. My cheek throbbed. My dignity throbbed harder. I took a small step back. "I need a minute." My mother waved a dismissive hand. "Fine. Just don't wander off and make us late." The crowd still watched as I walked toward the edge of the terminal, the noise blurring behind me. I felt the weight of every phone pointed in our direction. Every stranger who had seen my family at their worst and seen me shrink the way I always had. And yet, somewhere under the humiliation, something flickered, something steady, something that felt like the beginning of a boundary. As I stepped into a quieter hallway, I let out a slow breath. If you've ever lived in a family like mine, you know this kind of moment stays with you. And if you want more stories like this, raw, real, and shaped by people who finally choose themselves, stay close. I have more to tell. I had barely reached the quieter hallway when my phone buzzed. A message from my father. "Come back. Do not make this worse." I stared at the screen, my cheek still pulsing, then slipped the phone into my pocket. For most of my life, that was my role. Come back. Fix it. Smooth everything over. I could still hear Griffin's voice from a few nights earlier at dinner, laughing loudly as he told our parents. "Amelia worries too much. She lives for spreadsheets." My mother had smiled like it was charming. My father had nodded like it was true. When I finally returned to the seating area, they were exactly as I expected. My mother crossed her arms the moment she saw me. "You cannot walk off like that. People are staring. I needed space," I said. Griffin leaned back in his chair, legs stretched arrogantly. "Drama queen," he muttered. "Always have been." I felt that flicker again inside me. Small, but steady. "You slapped me," I said. My voice wasn't loud, but it landed. Griffin shrugged. "Then, don't provoke me." My father shot me a warning look. "Drop it." I sat down, leaving a full chair between us. "I'm not provoking anyone," I said. "I'm just tired." My mother scoffed. "We all are." "Amelia, you are not the only one with stress," Griffin added. "Yeah. Try being the one who actually carries this family's image. You have it easy." That line used to bury me. But now it only revealed the truth. They had built a story where he was the golden son and I was the quiet support beam, holding up everything behind the scenes. I let silence fall between us, not the fearful kind, but the kind that begins to draw a line. And for the first time, I did not rush to fill it. Griffin kicked his foot against the leg of his chair, bored with the silence he had created. We wouldn't even be in this mess, he said, if Amelia knew how to behave in public. The words slid under my skin, familiar as old scars. Every lie he told at that airport felt connected to years of smaller ones I had let pass because it was easier than challenging him in front of our parents. He leaned over and whispered loudly, "You really should apologize before Dad loses it." I felt the old reflex rise, apologize. Smooth it over. Keep the peace, but something inside me held steady this time. Instead of answering him, I said quietly, "You know, I've covered for you more times than you even remember." Griffin snorted. "Covered for me? Please." My mother sighed, exasperated. "Amelia, not now." But the memories kept coming. I looked at Griffin. "Your graduation party. The one with the white tent and the buffet table and the custom cake that cost me $1,600. My mother blinked. "What are you talking about? Your father and I paid for that." "No," I said. "I did. You just didn't notice because Griffin thanked you in his speech." Griffin's jaw tightened, but he forced a smirk. "You offered." "I never asked." I inhaled slowly. "Your Oakland studio, remember, getting approved instantly. That was because my credit carried you. And I paid the $3,000 deposit the landlord needed." My father frowned. "Griffin told us he handled that." Griffin snapped. "I did handle it." I met his eyes. By texting me at midnight and begging me to fix it. He shifted in his seat, the smirk slipping. "And the ring," I continued, my voice low but unwavering. "The $4,200 engagement ring you just had to buy. You promised you'd pay me back in 2 weeks." My mother pressed a hand to her chest. "Griffin, you told us her gift to you was emotional support, not money," he scoffed. "She's twisting everything." A few passengers nearby pretended not to listen, but their shoulders angled subtly toward us. The humiliation that used to silence me now fueled something steadier. "And the gifts," I said softly. "All those years you praised him for choosing such thoughtful presents. I bought every single one for more than a decade." Vivian's face paled. "Why didn't you tell us? Because telling you never changed anything." But I didn't say that out loud. Griffin straightened, eyes sharp. "You're making a scene." "No," I said. "I'm remembering." He leaned closer. "You think listing a few favors makes you special?" I didn't look away. "I think listing them reminds me who I've been and who I'm done being." His expression twitched, the first sign that he felt the ground shift beneath him. And I felt something inside me shift with it. 5 weeks before the airport. We had been sitting around a long dinner table in Los Gatos, polished silverware and soft candlelight, making everything look warmer than it really was. Griffin waited until everyone finished their salad before lifting his glass with theatrical timing. "I have an announcement," he said, voice full of practiced charm. "This year, I'm treating us all to Kauai. Full trip, flights, hotel, everything." My mother gasped into her napkin. "Griffin, darling, that is incredibly generous." My father beamed with the pride he saved only for his son. "This is what leadership looks like. Taking care of family." Griffin tilted his head just slightly, eyes sliding to me. Under the table, where no one else could see, he mouthed the words, "Thank you." I swallowed the sting and clinked my glass with everyone else's. "That's wonderful," I said, because that was the role I knew how to play. Later that night, after the compliments and applause died down, I sat alone in my apartment booking the entire trip myself, 4 premium seats at $1,350 each, 2 ocean view rooms at the Koa Terrace Resort, a Jeep rental, kayaking and helicopter tours. Every confirmation email arrived in my inbox, addressed to Amelia Hart, paid with my business card. The next morning, Griffin texted me, "Make sure to upgrade my room. I need space to work on my pitch for Dad." I typed back, "Okay," even though I knew he had no pitch. He just wanted the best room. Now, sitting in the airport with my cheek still warm from his slap, the memory felt sharper. Griffin leaned back in his chair and said loudly, "If it were not for me, we would not even be going to Kauai. You should be grateful." Amelia, something in me tightened, not fear, not frustration, but recognition. He had built an entire identity out of taking credit for my sacrifices, and I was finally starting to see it clearly. My cheek was still throbbing when Griffin leaned forward, elbows on his knees, pretending he had been the victim all along. "You really embarrassed us back there," he said, storming off like some dramatic teenager. I kept my gaze on the floor. "You hit me," he scoffed. "Barely, and only because you started acting crazy." My mother nodded as if that settled it. "Amelia, you cannot react like this every time your brother gets upset. You know how sensitive he is before big trips." I almost laughed. Sensitive Griffin slapped me in front of half the terminal. My father stiffened beside her. "Lower your voice. People are watching." "They watched him hit me," I said. The words left my mouth before I could soften them. Griffin rolled his eyes. "If you had just done the upgrade like I asked, none of this would have happened." There it was, the familiar reversal. His actions were my fault. His temper was my responsibility. His comfort, always, came first. I pushed a breath out slowly. "I'm tired, Griffin," of what he snapped. "Doing the bare minimum?" The heat rushed up my throat. "The bare minimum I planned this entire trip," he smirked. "You work with spreadsheets. Planning is your hobby. Do not act like it is some noble sacrifice." My mother placed a hand on his arm. "Griffin, sweetheart, she did help with
The details. Help, I repeated. I booked everything. All of it. My father's eyes narrowed. "Amelia, do not start this. I am not starting anything." I said, "I am just not hiding it anymore."
They all stared at me like I'd broken a rule so old, none of us remembered choosing it. Griffin leaned back and folded his arms. "You always do this play the victim when you get overwhelmed. You should be grateful you even get to come on this trip." "I made it happen. I paid for it," I said softly. He waved a dismissive hand. "Details. You overthink everything." The words pulled something open inside me, not a wound, but a doorway. I stood up. My mother's head snapped toward me. "Where are you going now? I told you." I said, "I need a minute." My father pointed at me sharply. "Do not make us late." Their voices layered over each other commands, warnings, corrections. The same chorus I had lived under for 28 years, but their words no longer stuck to me. I walked away, not quickly, but with a steadiness that felt new in my bones. Griffin called after me. "Do not wander off. Amelia, you always do this." I did not turn around. Every step away from them felt like peeling off a weight I had worn so long I forgot it was not part of me. And somewhere between the terminal seating and the vending machines, between their voices and my silence, something inside me began to shift into place, quiet, deliberate, and unmistakably mine. I reached the quieter hallway again, the one near the vending machines where the noise of the terminals softened just enough to think. My cheek still pulsed, but the shame had settled into something steadier, something that felt almost like clarity. I pulled out my phone and opened the airline app. 4 premium tickets to La Houve, all purchased under one name, Amelia Hart. The total stared back at me in clean, undeniable text. Every confirmation email sat neatly in my inbox, My business card, my reservations, my responsibility. A breath left my chest. Slow and controlled. I scrolled to the hotel confirmation next. 2 ocean view rooms at the Koa Terrace Resort. 4 guests, 1 credit card mine. The Jeep rental, the kayaking tour, the helicopter ride Griffin insisted on for the family experience. All of it tied to me. That flicker inside me grew warmer. My phone buzzed Griffin again. Do not take forever. We board soon. I silenced the notification. Then I pressed the call button for the airline. After a few rings, a calm voice answered. Thank you for calling Pacific Air. This is Sabrina speaking. How can I help you today? My voice didn't shake. I need to modify a reservation. Of course. May I have your confirmation code I gave it? Leaning back against the cold wall as she typed. All right, she said. I see 4 passengers on a premium cabin flight to Luhu today. How would you like to modify this booking? I felt my heartbeat in my fingertips, not fast. Just present. I would like to remove 3 passengers from the reservation. Keep only the ticket under Amelia Hart. There was a pause on her end. A brief hitch before professionalism returned. Certainly. I should inform you that cancellation fees apply, but all travel credit will return to the original payer. That's fine, I said. She processed the request. A few soft clicks, a brief hold. Then your reservation is now updated. Only 1 passenger remains. Thank you, I said. As I hung up, the weight did not crash down on me. It lifted quietly, decisively. 3 names gone. 1 left mine. And for the first time in a long time, that felt exactly right. When I returned to the seating area, my family didn't look up right away. Griffin was scrolling his phone like nothing had happened. My mother was rearranging items in her purse. My father checked the departure board with the kind of intensity he never used on real problems. I stopped in front of them. I'm heading to my gate now. My mother frowned. Amelia, sweetheart, this is your gate. Not anymore, I said. Griffin finally looked up, smirking. What now? Another meltdown. I held up my phone. Your tickets are canceled. His smile cracked. What I canceled 3 of the 4 seats. Only mine remains. My mother pushed up from her chair. Amelia, do not joke about something like that. I'm not. Griffin snatched the phone from my hand. You did not do anything. You would never. But the confirmation email glowed on the screen. 3 passengers removed. 1 remaining, Amelia Hart. He stared at it like it was written in another language. No. This is wrong. Fix it. My father stood. Amelia, explain yourself. Now. I kept my voice low but steady. I paid for the trip. All of it. I decided I'm not funding it anymore. That is ridiculous, he snapped. Griffin booked this entire vacation. I laughed under my breath, an exhausted sound. No, he didn't. Enough. My father warned. Stop making up stories. Call the airline. I said, put it on speaker. My mother hesitated, then urged him softly, just call. Theodore, he dialed. I stepped back. After a brief hold, a representative answered, Pacific Air, this is Daniel. How may I help you? My father cleared his throat. I need to check a reservation. 4 passengers under code RSHET. Daniel typed. I see the booking. It has been modified. My father stiffened. Modified how it now lists 1 active passenger, Amelia Hart. My mother gasped. Griffin shook his head violently. No. She tricked you. She hacked it, or Daniel continued. Only the original payer is authorized to make changes. The payer is, one moment, yes, Amelia Hart. A small crowd around us grew still. My father lowered the phone slowly, anger simmering through his jaw. How could you do this? I met his stare. How many times have you let him lie about something I paid for? How many times did you watch me take the blame so he could look good? How many years did you expect me to stay quiet so he could stay comfortable? My mother whispered. We did not know. You did not want to know, I said. Griffin stepped forward, face flushed. I made this trip happen. You cannot take it from us. You never made anything happen, I said. You just took credit for it. A woman sitting nearby stood up, her phone in hand. I saw him hit her earlier. She didn't do anything. Griffin whipped around. Mind your business. Another man added, I recorded the slap. Security asked me to report it if it escalated. 2 airport security officers approached again. More alert this time. Sir. One said to Griffin, we need to speak with you. Griffin backed up. This is insane. She's lying. They're lying. The officer's tone sharpened. Step aside. Sir. My mother clutched her purse. Amelia, undo this. Please. We cannot afford new tickets. I know, I said. That's why I paid in the first place. My father pointed at me, trembling with rage. If you walk onto that plane, do not expect to come back to this family. I paused, not because the threat hurt, but because it finally didn't. You left me long before today. I said, I'm just accepting it. The boarding announcement sounded, Group A for Lohu may now board. I stepped past them. Griffin shouted my name. My mother called after me. Security held Griffin back as he struggled to push forward. None of it reached me. The gate agent scanned my boarding pass. Have a peaceful flight. Ms. Hart. Peaceful. For the first time, the word felt real. I walked down the jet bridge alone. The gate agent handed back my boarding pass with a gentle nod. Rough morning? Ms. Hart. My voice came out calmer than I expected. Rough, 28 years. The morning is finally improving. He didn't push for more, just smiled faintly and said, enjoy your flight. I stepped into the jet bridge, the hum of the plane growing louder behind the thin walls. When I reached my seat window, premium cabin, I let myself breathe. Not deeply, but freely, like air was finally something I was allowed to take. Before the doors closed, I glanced out toward the terminal. Through the glass, I saw Griffin arguing with security, hands slicing the air. My mother was crying into a tissue. My father was pointing at a gate agent with the same authority he used to use on me. None of them looked in my direction. A flight attendant stopped beside me. Would you like a drink before takeoff? Water, I said. My voice felt steady as we taxied toward the runway. Sunlight cut across my seat in warm stripes. The engines rumbled, lifting us inch by inch. Somewhere below, my family scrambled to rewrite a story they had controlled for too long. Above them, I felt something I had not felt in years. Quiet, unforced, unshared, my own beginning. Kauai was quiet in a way my life had never been. I spent the first evening sitting on the balcony of my single room, the ocean somewhere beneath the darkness. My phone face down on the table beside me. When I finally turned it over, the screen lit with messages. My mother had sent a long email. We may have made mistakes. We want to understand. Please call us. My father left a voicemail, his voice thinner than I remembered. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I expected too much from you. Come home and we will fix this. Griffin sent the shortest message of all, you went too far. You owe us a conversation. I listened once, read once, and set the phone down again. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because, for the first time, the choice was completely mine. A breeze moved across the balcony. My cheek no longer hurt. My chest no longer tightened. If someone out there has lived a life like this, carrying a family that never once carried you back, you're not alone. And if you want more stories told with this kind of honesty, stay with me. There is more ahead.